Hello, world. It's John, and we're back with another episode of the Just No BS podcast. Of course, I'm joined by my two co hosts over here. We got,
What's good? It's Cal. How y'all doing?
we're switching up the order, and we also got,
Dev, what's up?
yep, and we back at it. So it's been a long couple weeks here. January's felt like an eternity. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We had initially something a little different planned, but we decided, you know what? It's time for a Black culture update because it's been a long one. So first off, we're gonna hit y'all up with a couple of things we like to call the big nopes. So these are basically like your yes or no's, your true or falses, but more like a this or a that. So we're gonna go through some fictional scenarios that you just wouldn't want to live through. We'll have our explanations. We all kind of came up with these together, and we're gonna kind of get things started off here. All right. I know Cal's looking to this first one. So, which would you rather go through? The Chunin exams from Naruto or the Hunter exams from Hunter x Hunter? Go ahead, Cal. You got to start us off here.
So first off, happy Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? We is here. We are here. But number one, there's actually a Hunter exam that's taking place on the Northeast. They're making it annually, so it's going to be in March every year, I think. And it's like the same type of rubric. So they have like an endurance test out the gate. They got strategy tests, all this other stuff, combat test. My thing will always be, I'm doing the Hunter exam. Because number one, if I was in that universe, I got to pick like my loadout, my powers, I will always be morally gray at best. So I'm killing somebody out the gate. I'm killing somebody, bro. Just to establish like we're not here to play games. I do think the tuning exams is cool, yes. But you do stand the chance of matching up against somebody like Gaara or Madara or some. You see what I'm saying? You do stand a chance of like they won't kill you, but they'll probably like permanently disable you. And then all it'll be is like, oh yeah, I remember that Jazo kid had a really good fire technique, but they just drowned him and he's paralyzed now. Like that's it. That's where your story ends. So at least in the Hunter exams, I can see like what the class looks like. Like you get the whole connection of the Hunter network. So it's like you could probably find some people with common interests. And y'all could catch some bodies together and make some good childhood memories. So that's where I think that's where my
Make some good childhood memories. Okay.
Wow.
Because even in the Hunter exams, this is my last one. In the Hunter exams, I think it was P2 who made it through to the finals. The person with the arrows with the that's not P2. I forget his name because it was a guy. But like I wouldn't even let them get that far. I would have killed them early. Very, very early. Like all you got is arrows, and that would have been my one body to make it to the final. So yeah, that's me. I'm choosing that.
Fair. Me personally, I'm actually the opposite for many reasons. I would actually go over the tuned exams because at least in the tuned exams, you could just be like, nah, this ain't for me. I'll try next time. The Hunter exams, you're just kind of like stuck. You gotta figure it out. So at the very least in the tuning exams, you can just be like, all right, my team's gonna try again next year. We got this crazy ass dude named Gaara just killing people. Nah, we try next year. Deuces. So at the very least, personally, if I have to live through, I'm living like a true ninja. I'm hiding in the shadows, picking my battles. I'm not doing this magical fireball crap. Nah. Yeah, nah. I'm one of them people in the cut. So like, nah, I'm gonna be like, nah, that dude don't look right. So, I'd be a ninja in the ninja world. So like, nah, we ain't playing that. So yeah, I'm taking the tuning exams personally.
To be fair, the one ninja in the Hunter exams went to the end. The guy who fought Gon at the end, he was a real ninja for real. He did pretty well. He won. He actually won. I think he beat Gong, and Gong got passed through on a technicality, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, but I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, nah.
Me personally, not gonna lie, I kind of have to lean towards the hunter exams. Like, I might have a shot getting through the hunter exams. I know exactly what I'm getting, regardless. For the tuning exams, it really depends on where they're hosting it. Because if you remember with the story and stuff like that, when they had it in the place where they had the mist and stuff like that, one time, it was a look. You only have like one person who survives. Everyone else is murdering. That's the only way you get out of this test, is if you are the only survivor. The tuning exams that they had over in Konoha and stuff like that, that was the easiest version of the test that they have ever had, and people were still dying to people like Gara and stuff like that. No, it would be just my luck that I walk in there and I got some guy who's actually got the body of a snake trying to steal my body and everything. No,
It's like, this is the year y'all let the pedophile snake guy try out?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
To
It
be
had to
fair,
be that year.
To be fair, he snuck in, but yeah, y'all didn't have the security ready. They was not prepared.
See.
Man, I would be like, no, I'm done. I quit. And it would be too late by that point. It's like, oh, hey, I'm about to go and eat you anyway. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can quit during the test. When you feel that creepy vibes, you can just be like, nah, we're leaving through the handwritten test. We're gone. I'll come back next year when you get rid of this dude.
Look, I'll quit as soon as I finish the test where you had to go and cheat on the assignment and stuff like that. Like, all right, cool. I did that part. That's all I need. Oh, you're going in the force? Nah. Leave me out of this. I'll try again next year.
Hey, it's a good quality for tuning to know when to cut your losses. You got this crazy dude out here, stealing bodies and summoning snakes. Nah, we out. We're gone. That's it. So, I mean, fair enough. All right, well, here's our second one. Another big note for y'all. Would you rather be in the audience for the Dark Tournament in Yu Hakusho or in the 23rd Martial Arts Tournament in DBZ? Context, the 23rd Martial Arts, well, technically it's not DBZ, it's the original Dragon Ball, it's the 23rd Martial Arts Tournament, but it's the last one when Goku fought Demon King Piccolo Jr. So, which would you rather be in the audience for? I know which one I would not want to be in. I'll take my chances with the 23rd Martial Arts Tournament because they, you knew when they start yelling and getting ready to blow something up, all right, time to move. Dark Tournament, you just had people whipping out swords, stealing souls for no reason, blocking the nah. I'd rather be in the audience for the 23rd. I can see it coming at least. In Yu Hakusho, the audience was just getting assaulted for no reason every round in different ways. And then your body's dropping into the... No, I don't want your body dropping from the stratosphere onto my seat next to me. I'm watching that one on TV. Far away.
That's real.
Hold up on Netflix, man.
Facts. Stream that bitch. Just...
I mean, I feel you. The way that I would be in the audience for the Dark Tournament, or we talked about this, like, I would have to be up in the press box, like behind the bulletproof fiber stuff. That would be the only way that I would go there. Even though I feel like the fights would be crazy, because even like one of my favorite fights ever in a shonen was Yusuke having the fight with the Australian dude, and they both had their heels on the knife. Even though it was grandiose, like bringing a dragon down, like it wasn't that, but it was just like, these motherfuckers are in here boxing. Like, this isn't, they're just boxing. But yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Probably like 23rd Marshals. If I'm not in the press box for the Dark Tournament, I'm gonna be outside watching it on TV. And even then, I'm gonna be like in my car in case I need to skedaddle up out of here. Because no.
So, really depends. Like, look, with the Dark Tournament, the only ones who are really there are all demons and so on and so forth. If you didn't go and have your own training montage before you got there, you deserve every little bit of that. Oh, hey, you got hit with that blast. You should have either been able to dodge that or block it yourself. So if you decide to walk in there without going through a full-on training montage, then you know what? You deserve it. So I'm going to go with the Dark Tournament. At least I know if I'm showing up there, I'm going to go ahead and hit the Demon Gym beforehand. Make sure, I can do whatever I can to survive. And you know what? Probably I earned one of those top boxes, right there.
This man's gonna hit the demon gems, pressing up his spirit energy twice a day. He's gonna do 2 a days with his.
I'm just saying, I know what I'm getting into there.
The fact
I'm gonna hedge my bets.
The fact that you're trying to like legitimize the idea of effectively having to train like a Super Bowl athlete to be able to watch the Super Bowl is insane. Oh, who knows? Travis Kelce might jump up here and punch me. Like, why do I have to do this?
Because I'm gonna look good doing it. That's why.
See,
I can't. I'm watching that. I'm watching
currency. I'm not getting assaulted watching no demons fight.
Facts. I'm watching that bitch at home. I'm sorry. Now I will say, when we came up with these questions, I picked the 23rd because I was the most balanced. If this was the 25th martial arts tournament during the Buu saga, when Vegeta just blew up half the crowd for no reason,
there's no winning that.
There's no you can't win because this man just appeared out of nowhere in the middle of another fight with Goku and Squad, and he's like, "Goku, fight me!" Bow, and just blew up half the audience. His wife was in the audience and didn't care. Like, nah, fans, that's a lose-lose.
Yeah, Vegeta's a demon. We should rank we should have a demon metric for anime. Like that should be one of the portions that we do one of these shows to where it's like these motherfuckers over here, like. They're demons, period. Like, just run.
On a scale of fuck around to find out, these people are demon time.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go to our next big nope here. All right. So you went to sleep one day, right? And then when you wake up, you find yourself either in the world of Dr. Stone or Jujutsu Kaisen. Which one are you taking?
And we get just to lay it out. Do we get any type of abilities to survive in the Jujutsu Kaisen world? Like, do we get to?
I'm gonna say for both worlds, you're on the average of that world. So you're not the best, you're not the worst, but you're the average of that world. So as far as Jujutsu Kaisen is concerned, you got a couple of hands, but you're not freaking, Sukuna, but you're also not, random demon number 2. Like, you're in the middle, both worlds. I already know which one I would take.
Yeah,
same.
I'm going JJK.
He wants to be on the jump ends.
Yeah, like I grew up as an X-Men kid. That's how we learned how to fight as young black kids who watch stuff. And X-Men would jump you. JJK, they're jumping you. There's no fair ones in this universe. So if it's me, I'm average. If I get 6 other average guys, we're an issue on the neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? JJK. Like, that's fair. Dr. Stone, though, you being average in Dr. Stone, like a post-apocalyptic world, you could, like, break out of Stone in, like, some weird third world country type deal to where it's, like, the survivability rate probably is already low because your immune system isn't good, so you could, like, scrape your knee on a rock and you don't know how to make the medicine necessary for, like, a quick cure. You could just die, like, within a week of you being there. A common cold happened. You don't have aspirin or anything else like that. Then you just die. Like, it's you against the elements versus me and my guys against some demons. I'm taking me and my guys against some demons, damn it. Hey, that's me, though.
Okay. You want to go next, Devin?
Sure. And I'm going to go for the exact same answer. Let me get some Jump Jujutsu Kaisen in here. At least I can go ahead and get a group. We can go and jump whatever it is, and we're fine. You know what? If our group isn't fine, you know what? Let's go ahead and hit our training montage, come back around, and rinse and repeat. If I'm in Dr. Stone, it would be just my luck that I get out of the stone and I'm in the middle of a river, and I'm already drowning. How am I losing and I just started the game?
Yeah.
Or, oh, hey, I just woke up in the middle of winter with no clothes. Cool, I'm dying in a day. Like, even if, I get lucky and, I'm in the best situation, as Cal brought up, if I'm just average, if I'm doing this by myself, there's so many different things that can go wrong that cause me to die before I find any other civilization. So at least in JJK, I can kind of fight and hope that I've got a chance. In Dr. Stone, it is all random.
Fair enough. Fair enough. See, for me, I actually lean towards Dr. Stone, but only if I wind up in Senku's village. If I wind up anywhere else, okay, I'm taking JJK. But if I wind up in Senku's village, I'm taking that like 9 times out of 10. Because at the very least, I'll just contribute to the science. I'll be the random guy, like, oh, I need you to build this shit so that we can generate electricity. I'm on it. I'm the random dude building this shit, not getting in all these scuffles. But if I wind up in JJK, we just have to throw hands. Just, all right. All right, Cal, Devin, you 6 other people. We're going to go jump this person in hope. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We got no choice.
Mm-hmm. And if I see Gojo, I'm just turning the other way. I don't care. I'm going to get out of there.
Gojo, I'm just going to give him food money and just hope he leaves us alone. Like, I'm not fighting him.
Mm-hmm.
Hell no.
That said, if I see Sukuna, I'm dapping him up, though.
And hope you have to cut your arm off or flame on you or something. Like,
Devin, you're trying to run your death in these things to go to another universe. I'm not there with you, brother.
Well, see, here's the thing. When it comes to Sukuna, you either gotta stand and be like, all right, cool, I've got pride in myself and I'm willing to go that route, or just get out of the way. Because if you go with the kind of, okay, well, let me just kind of bow my head a little bit, he's probably gonna wreck you. If you don't come in with the, oh, hey, I'm about my shit, he's going to wreck you. He respects you at least if you kind of come up like, oh, okay, you think you're good shit. Prove it. I'm probably going to lose, but he might just go and say, you know what? I respect that you tried. I might just go ahead and go a little easy on you.
See,
so far, that's the best situation.
I'm making it to the second arc of whatever the hell I'm in, and I'm getting a tragic death episode. We're getting my back. You're trying to die early in the first arc. I'm going.
No, I'm trying to join the winning team.
Oh, that's funny. But very Devin. All right. So our fourth big note, this one's going to be a doozy. So, in this universe, you wind up becoming a normal person. So you're not special. You don't got superpowers. You wind up as a normal person in either the Gundam universe or the Warhammer 40K universe. Now, I don't know much. I'm going to go first here. I don't know much about Warhammer 40K outside some basic stuff. But just given the various different types of armies, I'm taking my chance with the fucking Gundam universe. I could be living on a colony and it gets blown up anyway and fuck it. But I'm not winding up being part of one of these death armies by accident nah. Because that, from what little I've read of that world, just shit be popping off for no reason. Like, it just be like, I got problems with you, Civil War. Nah, I don't want to be part of that. But at least in the Gundam universe, as a normal person, I could just be like, yo, I got nothing with this conflict. You and your Wing Zero or your Double Zeta, y'all go fight over here. I'm moving to the After Colony 555 where we don't care and just take this shit, leave us out of it. I have a chance. It's not a very good one, but I have a chance. That's me. I'm taking Gundam. And worst comes to worst, I will jump into fucking Zaku and go out in the blaze of glory. I'll be that one guy like, it's a Gundam! And then get exploded, and that's it. But at the very least, I'm as a regular person, I can still hop in and try and fight. That's it.
So, for me, I do know a lot about Warhammer 40K, and I would never, ever choose to be a normal person in that universe. Ever. There is no good situation for you at all. At least in the Gundam universe, as you said towards the end there, you know what? Hey, part of your colony gets blown up. You might get lucky and, get into a suit. There's a lot of normal people who end up getting into some of those suits and, they end up going off and doing some good stuff.
Or surviving.
You might have. Or just surviving in general. You have some chance of a normal life. Maybe. Possibly. 40K? No. Look, either you get thrown into an army where basically you're just cannon fodder and you're the amount of time that they expect you to live is 15 minutes from the time that you get out of the ship. You know, you could, fight an entire demon incursion, or, become possessed by a demon, or, be sacrificed to a demonic cult, or you could fight, some aliens that are basically just trying to feed off of planets for biomass and stuff like that. Or you could fight the orcs and everything, where all they want to do is just fight, just for the sake of fighting. And you might also possibly get in the way of any of the different, factions as well. For the Imperium, no, there's no chance.
It just sounds like D&D in space, and you just don't got the options, bro. Like, I'm not doing that.
I'm one of those people who typically, when it comes to these like post-apocalyptic scenarios and things like that, like I'm a find a way to survive type person at all times. Warhammer, me glimpsing at it, like just watching other people play it and listening to lore videos, falling asleep. That's one of those universes I would eat a barrel of a gun immediately. As soon as I like gain sentience and it's like, oh, I'm here. Nope. Because I already studied how soldiers do it. You put the butt of the gun on the ground, you put your big toe in on the trigger, and you push and you look down like that. It's over. That's it. I don't need the tutorial. I don't need this is how you equip. No, can I get a gun? No, we're not. I'm not. No, bro. No.
Another thing to add to that, when it comes to Warhammer 40K, there's a chance that even if you go and pull that off, they might just go and say, oh, there's enough left over. We're going to turn you into a servitor. And basically, you're a robot that's remote controlled. So you can't even choose to go and end yourself afterwards.
Bro, Warhammer 40K, they have cyborgs, liches, and soul. Like, no. I can wind up either, even if I, like Caleb said, if you did that, you can wind up as a random cyborg that you can't control yourself no more. You can wind up as an undead soldier, or you can wind up with a spirit soldier. I don't want none of that.
Nope.
I'm taking my chances with Gundam, because at least when it's over, it's over. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and because Gundam is like the I'm forgetting the other one. Like Akira also has that same type of aesthetic, or like Cowboy Bebop, to where it's like that futuristic punk type gear and stuff like that. That would be cool. I think I would be like a cool engineer, drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette, helping
Repair
upkeep the
Gundams.
Gundams. Yeah, like I'm out the way, minding my business. I got my little house and my little family over here. I'm not worried about these existential spiritual threats to my being, my guy. Like, nah, I'm.
Now, see, I will go and say, if I have the option to not be a normal person, then my choice is going to switch. Because, I already know exactly what side I'd be on. Good luck, everybody else. Sucks to be you. I already know my Chaos God Zinch. He's got me, Trickery, magic, all that fun stuff. Nah, it's over.
But alas, we'd all be normal people.
All be
yeah.
normal.
Yeah. But if I have to be normal, then hell no.
All right. And then we got our final big nope. So for this one, you have suddenly passed away for various reasons, and you wind up being reincarnated in another world. Would you take the world of jobless reincarnation or the rising of the shield hero? And in this one, all that happens is you're reincarnated. You might be lucky to have a good job or a bad job. We'll just go with that. I think Devin would be a good one to start this one off here.
Not gonna lie, if it's totally random, I'd probably want to be reincarnated in the world of jobless reincarnation. Just because I can go ahead and learn magic or gain skills, as a fighter, so on and so forth. Yeah, I might not have the best start, but I can build off of that. I can possibly make sure that I have a better life. Whereas in Rising of the Shield Hero, it really depends on what area they drop me in from the very beginning and what my species is. Because if I'm in the wrong place, then you know what? I get racism part 2. I don't want to do that squared again. Yeah. Racism, Electra Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo will never not be
Wasting
funny.
some Electric Boogaloo.
But I'm saying though, like, and then on top of that, when it comes to Rising of the Shield Hero, you also have the waves that constantly come in, which means that, oh, hey, unless I'm in an area where one of the heroes are actually at, my chances of dying just increase significantly. And there's nothing I can do about it. There's no amount of extra training I can do to really have a chance against any of the waves. Like, they've even shown, like, anyone who's not one of the heroes, really, you're just fighting to survive at the best. And hoping that one of the heroes gets there in enough time. At least in Jawless Reincarnation, if someone big is coming around, you know it ahead of time. And you're like, you know what? I'm not ready yet. Let me go somewhere else real quick and then go ahead and train. I like my odds.
Fair. So when I was thinking about this one for myself, at first I was like you, Devin. I was really thinking Jawless Reincarnation because I was like, you got a point. I could make my little hut. I could train. I could be an adventurer. I can go accept some quests. I can join a party. I can make a nice D&D life for myself. Then when I was thinking about Rising of the Shield Hero, I'm like, but what if, and this is a spoiler for anyone who's not read past certain chapters or seen certain amount of the manga, but what if I wound up in one of the other worlds where the heroes already got this on lock? I could be okay, so that's a real toss-up there. But I'd probably stick with Jobless Reincarnation too, just on my own merits. I can at least make sure I'm a G, even if I don't want to be part of the nonsense. I can just be like, I'm still that dude though, so I'm just chilling. I could just become like, Genkai in the cut. Just, yeah, I'm the one, but I just want to live by myself. Leave me out of this bullshit y'all are going through.
Yeah, I agree. I'm still going jobless as well. Because I do think, like, even if things get really bad, like, one of my favorite aesthetics in fiction or, like, archetypes in fiction is always, like, the sage old guy, like, Iroh, like, by yourself. You've mastered some things, but you're not trying to be front line with it. You're just kind of, like, drinking your tea or your sake, whatever the case is. Like, you got a little pet. Just vibe out. Like, that would be cool. And then also, if I'm like an ultra powerful person as well, that alternate ending works for me as well, because it's like I can protect my domain. Come in here if you want. Like, so it's cool. But again, it's something about like being in the blast radius for some existential bullshit that will always be like, no, for me. Because you just can't control it, bro. Like, there's nothing you could do. You could even be strong enough to like hold it off for a little bit. But like the psyche of people is just like, one of these days you're gonna be like, you know what, fuck it, and I don't want to put myself in a you know what, fuck it situation. Like, no. So I'm sticking with jobs.
Fair enough.
So, question though.
Oh, we got a caveat.
So let's say you were born into either one of those worlds and you were kind of put into like a little bit more of a special position there. Like, for example, for Rising of the Shield Hero, you're actually one of the heroes. Or for Jawless Reincarnation, I mean, technically, if you're reincarnated there, then you're in a special position anyway. But would that change your answer, and why?
Nah, it doesn't change my answer, because like, even as a hero in the Rising of the Shield Hero, if I'm one of those good ones that like has his own domain and is chilling, the waves are just such a constant threat. Like, nothing's chill. At the very least, in Jobless Reincarnation, if I rule over my domain with an iron fist, we good. We Gucci. Like, keep things chill. Yeah, no, I'm taking Jobless still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still doing jobless as well, because like, even me going down like a nerd rabbit hole, I forget how to say the gentleman's last name. But his name is like Anthony, starts with an F, Familkio or something like that I watched on YouTube. And he was going over like he was ranking villains who essentially ruled the world and who you would trust as a villain ruling the world. And even with that, like, literally in all of comics, in the Marvel comics specifically, Doctor Doom's like ruling the world is the best outcome.
Yes.
Period. It's the best one. Like, when you look, even if you go to DC and you look at it, Superman ruling the world is essentially injustice type deal, to where it's like it's a heavily police state. Yeah, you can commit crime, but bitch, you're going to Guantanamo for stealing a kitty. Like I don't. So I think yeah, and excuse me, and jobless. Like even if I was like leaning towards authoritarianism, yet and still, it would be like I really wouldn't have much to worry about because I'm not going to be like slaughtering a specific group of race of people or something like that. It would just be like, no, we're operating in isolationism. Everybody's going to have their roles, tests to get you in roles. We'll be self-sustaining like that and just rock out like that. And I don't have to worry about like some bullshit like a tsunami of radioactivity coming in every 3 months. Like, we're not doing this, bro. Like, no.
I think what makes the Rising of Shield Hero worse is that in their world, there is literally a hourglass that shows the time ticking down to some shit popping off. Just knowing that would fuck with my psyche. Just like, I got 3 days to figure this shit out? Come on, bruh. Like, no.
Like that anxiety level, like, oh man, in 3 days? Man, I have a doctor's appointment in 3 days. Wait a minute.
And then in a society like that, you can't dictate the ideology of somebody else in their domain. So just how that may affect you and that may stress you out, like I got 3 days to figure this out. Somebody else is like, okay, but if we get more resources and we invade this domain, kill off half their population, we can have enough to do. So now you're like having a 40 chest this thing every, you see what I'm saying? Like nah, bro. That's a lot. That's a lot of work. So I'm good.
Well, that'll do it for our 5 big nopes. As always, these are always kind of fun. We'll definitely have to come up with some more for future episodes, but this one, we had it pretty much anime / nerd themed. We'll come up with some different ones, kind of shake things up a little bit, but you know what? I think we'll go ahead and do our our 3-body breakdown, which again is just going to be our Black culture updates here. So, first off, the Grammys that were last Sunday. What'd y'all think? We had a couple of I don't know if I would say surprises, but things got interesting, I'll say the least. We'll start off with, I mean, apparently Beyonce got 2 Grammys last night at the bare minimum. I didn't actually look at the full list, but she got Country Album and Best Album of the Year. So, what do y'all think? She got it for Cowboy Carter.
I think it's they lined this up for her after the last time at the Grammys when Jay-Z had the situation and he got up there and he was talking. I think he received the award on her honor. And he was like, yeah, she's like one of the highest, if not the highest decorated as far as Grammys in music history. But like she gets them for singles and videos and da-da-da-da, but y'all like don't give her the album of the year, which is insane. Especially considering like this woman's been doing this for 20 plus years at this point. Arguably top 5 performers of all time on earth. Like it's like Jesus. She has one of the best vocal performances as far as career wise throughout music, throughout earth. She's had some of the best songwriters again. So it's like, yeah, they kind of prepped for this. So yeah, I'm not mad at this whatsoever. My main point of contention is the detractors online who are essentially saying like, oh, she got this album because of cultural appropriation. And I was like, so a Black woman getting an award for essentially like an Americana country album is cultural appropriation. What culture is she appropriating? Because if you knew the history of music and you knew the history of country music and Americana music in general, that shit, just like the majority of other genres that were created here, was by Black people. So it's like, no, you don't have a leg to stand on. But I am glad that she got it now as opposed to posthumously, if that makes sense. Like,
I agree.
Them letting her have this storied career, winning all these awards, trend-setting, being everybody's favorite person. Like Adele, when she beat Beyonce for Album of the Year one year, like she was up there crying thanking Beyonce for her contributions, and stuff like that. Like she's been that for almost 30 years again. So it's like, yeah, I'm glad that she got this while she was alive, and they didn't do like some weird posthumous, oh, we got it wrong for 40 plus years, please forgive us. Like, no, give her that shit now while she's alive. Like,
You-
I'm happy.
And what's crazy is I normally don't watch the Grammys, so normally I don't really care too much. I get the highlights for the most part.
Yeah.
But this time around, when I was looking into it so we could talk about it, I found out that they changed up some of the voting systems this year. It was a bit of a joke to people in the industry. That talk about like how people would get to vote for categories they didn't really understand or have much leg to stand on. So apparently this year for the Grammys, you couldn't vote in categories that you didn't have expertise in. And then they changed up how the voting worked altogether so that there was more collective votes. I think they said like it was close to like, what was it, 17,000 Grammy, like, workers is the wrong word, but the people of the Grammys that decide this stuff. It was like a good number had to collectively vote for this. So that means the voting criteria was more than likely not less biased for once. And then there's more not redundancy, fail safes to avoid that. So the fact that she won it in this one is also quite an accomplishment, which means that like more people essentially rocked with it as an album. Which is to say it's the juxtaposition or the exact opposite of the country video awards. The fact that Beyonce wasn't even essentially a part of that at all, from what I've been reading, is just sad because that was a country album. It may not be what you like, but at least it's not, hey, we're going to go sleep with our sisters, drink moonshine, and, barrel hay. Like,
and she was.
I'm sorry, I always have to take that shot because it's like, until fairly recently, that's what the stereotype of country's been.
That was the highest selling country album of the year. So it's like, you're going to look at that metric in light of like things like Billboard, which a lot of us were living under the draconian leadership, while Drake was just racking up these Billboard awards because UMG was pushing so much money behind it, getting it everywhere on Spotify, getting it on the radio.
Oh, don't talk about payola.
But again, those who knew what was happening. And that's why Billboard awards aren't meritocracy. It's how many, like, what was your impact on the radio and things like that. So if you have the largest label and you're their flagship artist and they have billions of dollars to throw around, you're damn sure they're going to make their money back somehow. So it's like, for you to look at a country situation, so where it's not by any stretch of the imagination popping like that in modern day America, and this Black woman comes into it, gets all the numbers. Outside of her, I think Shaboozey with Tipsy. Yeah, I think that's the name of the song. Yeah, Tipsy. Like, those were the only two country people that I was hearing regularly on all the stations. Like, yes, you need to give her that award for that. Period. So,
and before I let Devin jump in here real quick, because it was her, Shaboozey was on her album, which introduced the world to Shaboozey. So it's like, any thoughts, Devin?
So I just want to go and add one quick thing. The fact that Beyonce won the award in a genre that is not normally known for having Black people in that genre, says a lot when it comes to the people who voted. Because at that point, that they weren't just voting because of, her race or anything of that nature. They were looking purely at her skill as an artist. So the fact that she was able to transcend all of that and still get them to go and say, you know what, you are the best in this and you deserve this award, says so much to me.
Caleb had to be the one to bring it up with Drake in the payola. So we're going to have to just oppose that a little bit here with the fact that Kendrick picked up 5 Grammys for Not Like Us. Not his album, not one song or multiple songs, literally not like us. That man picked up 5. It was like best rap song, best rap video, best, what was it, composition? Like, we lost Caleb, but yeah, no.
Oh no, I'm back.
Oh,
I'm back.
Oh, he back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I just had to.
Hey. For any audio listeners, he went to go grab his vinyl copy of GNX. It just dropped.
Oh, did I just? Oh, okay. Again, this was well deserved. Period. Point blank. Off of the mastery of the writing.
Dun, 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 dun.
Because again, this was one of those things as to where this song was unavoidable all year. Period. I don't care. You could have been in the house scrolling on your phone. If you're on TikTok, you saw it a bunch.
Dun, 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 dun.
You saw it a bunch. There are people making skits about it. There was somebody who made a video game about it. Like all types of AI work that was being done on it.
There was that one kid who redid his video in Lego. That was a good one.
Yeah. That was fire. So again, it's like, and he won it. How he won, how he swept it. It was like, yeah, he got Song of the Year, like the Song of the Year, and then the Record of the Year, because that they differentiated, because one is a writing record, like who is the best writer of the year, which again, like the best writing, in my opinion, from him from last year wasn't that. I would say it was more so like Euphoria or 616 LA. Those weren't up for nomination. But again, everything, this man Drake cannot avoid losing, bro. You can't afford.
Dun, 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 dun.
You just can't avoid this, like, because everything, all the negative stuff, like, oh yeah, your wife Whitney cheated on you with your man Dave Free, and that's not your kid. And Dave Free won Music Video of the Year. That was part of the 5 Grammys. With Not Like Us. So it's like, and I'm not gonna say comma. This was the second time that Kendrick has done this, where in one night he got 5 Grammys upon your head top, bucko. Lastly, people were like, oh, this is the first time that a diss record has won a Grammy, which is true, which is fantastic. But I see a lot of the OVO storks online, these weird individuals online being like, oh yeah, like they wouldn't have done this for Drake, blah, 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 and they never did this for Drake. That is revisionist history. Back to Back was up for a Grammy when he was dissing Meek Mill, and he ended up losing to who? Knock Knock, Kendrick Lamar with All Right. That same year.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, sorry. We gonna be all right.
Exactly. So again, I like this. I ended up before we got on, I watched the Super Bowl interview that he had with Ebro and Nadeska, which was cool. It was, you know, Kendrick when he's not like murdering you on a track or something. Like, he's a pretty just chill guy, like just chilling, like, hey, what's going on? Like, I'm just glad to be here, like da 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 da. But again, I love this moment so much because, as we're going to talk about later with the next part of the Grammy conversation, I'm going to wrap up my part. This was a return to form of the genre in and of itself to me, because things started getting very hollow and vapid for a while, especially coming off the heels of the pandemic. Everybody was inside for the most part. People weren't really engaging with one another. And it brought back the community aspect of the genre of hip hop, in my opinion, because you were seeing these videos where they're playing Not Like Us in the club. You're watching people troll and be funny and play Meet the Grams in the club. And people are like, Jesus, this sounds demonic on large speakers. But it's like, it's a bringing together moment. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, thank you, Aubrey, for being the sacrificial lamb. Like, we appreciate you being an idiot for the past 15 years to piss this man off like that so we could get this moment. Don't do that shit again. But yeah, I loved it. One of the highlights of the year so
honestly, I kind of want to play off of that as well. Honestly, I want to go and give Drake a special award for being the best support to Drake. I mean, to Kendrick. Like, he took all that time, all the bullshit that he's been doing to lead up to this, to Kendrick eventually saying, you know what, enough's enough. You know, Drake could have left well enough alone, when this first started. He could have just sat down, shut up, and called it a day and let everything pass. But he decided to keep egging things on, which Kendrick was like, you know what? All right, bet. I can do this all day.
Captain
And I can
America.
also... Yes, exactly. Meanwhile, Kendrick's like on your left the entire time.
Every day.
Every day. And I can even go and say that Drake literally asked for this when he said, hey, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone go hand him a Grammy right now. And people were like, all right, bet, here's 5. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and give, a little bit of credit to Drake for being a great support.
You know what's crazy? That sound of dun, 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 that sound alone got you so upset. It hit you psychologically so hard. It was probably in his dreams to the point where he had to sue. I can't.
And I'll be honest, for those, again, while we're going through this current D&D campaign, for those listening who may not have picked up on it, Devin is our dungeon master for our current campaign. What dungeon masters will do to you when you're about to do some dumb shit that will probably kill your character and or derail the campaign, they'll say 3 words. Are you sure? Before you do it, are you sure? You could run up, you just got out the guild, level 3, you know what I'm saying? You're feeling yourself, dragonflies over your head. You're like, I'm gonna shoot at it. Are you sure? And the whole time, within the first 3 records of the beef from Kendrick's side, he's like, are you sure? He asked him, have you ever played? Have you ever played? Really, let's see. He keeps on, are you sure? As a dungeon man, are you sure? And Drake's like, yeah, let's do it. I don't care. I'm the boy. Okay. This man is tied. No, he is in 3rd. And I think he is also tied with the most Grammys ever won in hip hop. After Jay-Z, Kanye, it's him. Stop. You said we should give him an award, Devin. Yes, we're going to give him the Darwin Award. For those who don't, Darwin Awards used to go to stupid motherfuckers who did stupid shit that they ended up dying from. You get a Darwin Award, bucko. Like, hey, man.
No, but
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
That part. For me, though, man, what I really enjoy about this is the fact that, like you said, things were kind of getting vapid there for a while. This and the next award we're going to talk about, I feel like brought artistry back to hip hop, especially when it comes to like award shows for like the Grammys.
Absolutely.
Like, yes, we've had fun records because like I'm not anything Cardi B and Meg's drop for the most part has been straight fun, enjoyable. Same thing with Glorilla. It's all been great fun, but like I think he's been the catalyst for being like, yo, we're supposed to be ourselves, supposed to sell our art. And I think we're kind of getting back to that because everything was like 2-3 minute TikTok songs that for a hot minute. And like, it feels like we're kind of getting back to that because I got done listening to Glorilla's album like last week. It's a really good album. That's a piece of art. But moving on to album of the year, the winner, best album of the year, excuse me, Doechii won. Round of applause for another beautiful black queen.
A Floridian at that.
Yeah, for real.
Floridian at that.
She won best rap album, and I'm not gonna lie, I have a love-hate relationship with this album name of Alligator Bites Never Heal. That's some Florida shit. What? But that's why I love it because it is just truly her.
Yeah.
I just hate it. It just had to be Florida. Like if she was from like Georgia and it was like, I don't know, peaches taste sweet. I don't know, but I'd be like,
Hey,
all
yo,
right,
wait a
bet.
minute.
Hey, yo.
What made you go with that flow? What made you?
I've got questions.
Because Justin Bieber, of all people, said, I get my peaches from Georgia. That's that shit. But no. But in all seriousness, no. I have to fully listen to the album. I haven't had a chance to yet, but she's been doing her thing, and that performance she did, like I had to go back and watch it. That was a great performance. I haven't seen some artistry like that since like Missy, bro. Like it's been a minute. Cardi B does some great stuff too with colors, but like as just pure vibe, that felt very like old school Missy Elliott-esque to me, and good stuff, bro. Now, in terms of rap technicality, I'll have to leave that to Caleb, but
yeah, no. So real quick before I go in on giving Doechii her roses, Rhapsody also won a Grammy as well.
yeah.
For those who don't know, Rhapsody, Carolina artist, she is dope. When I say she's dope, she is dope. If you like more so lyrical rap, storytelling rap, concept stuff like that, she can pack up and put on with the best of your favorite guy rappers.
She's part of a J. Cole's crew, right?
No, she was I'm forgetting the brother's name who introduced her. Ninth Wonder.
Okay.
Ninth Wonder was the guy who introduced her. I ironically met both of them here in Atlanta like a decade and some change ago at All Three Coast Hip Hop Convention. And she was out there freestyling, and I didn't know who she was whatsoever. I knew who Ninth Wonder was because that's like a legendary hip hop producer. But he was like, yeah, it's my girl Rhapsody, like she's like that, and we're all there freestyling, and it's this one woman in the cipher with a bunch of dudes who's just cooking, and it's like, Jesus Christ, who is? And she went on, won her Grammy. Greatly appreciate that. She's amazing. She deserves everything that she's gonna get. But again, back to Doechii. She is the third hip hop artist who is a woman who has won this award. Lauryn Hill was the first, Cardi B was the second, and Doechii was the third. So just like you said, Jay-Zo, like Cardi, Meg, and all them were very good when it came to like fun moments and things like that. Lauryn Hill was a much more soulful, centered artist, and then Doechii's on the other side of that. It just brings me to the thought of, as an artist, it's always important for you to put you into your art and for you to sell your art to the people, but never sell yourself. And I think Doechii does an amazing job with that. Lauryn did an amazing job with that as well. Not speaking ill of Cardi whatsoever, that she's just not my cup of tea from a lyricism standpoint. Not saying she's not good or whatnot, but like that's just not my cup of tea. And Doechii was amazing. I listened to this album front to back multiple times because I'm playing the game. Like I would turn the camera angle so y'all could see, like before we got on, I was playing Red Dead, just hunting and fishing. And I play music, documentaries, everything. And Doechii just comes from a very artistic cloth to where it's like this woman is speaking in a way that it's layers of storytelling, it's levels of emotional rawness, it's truth. And I feel like that's great. Like we got it on the Kendrick side, obviously, this past year. And then Doechii, who was a part of his former label as well, is giving it from like that. TDE last year was putting out some of the best hip hop music, period. You had Absol, you had what's my man's Hoover, Schoolboy Q, you had Doechii as well. SZA's doing her thing. She's a part of the GNX tour as well. Like those are artists who put themselves into their art and sell their art to people without selling themselves. And I feel like this should be celebrated. I'm glad that we had a night to commemorate this, in just a snapshot in time, especially in light of what's going on with not only the world, but this current administration in the United States, in light of all types of like things working against Black people, like even the African-American young man who was just a school shooter. partly because of how he felt uncomfortable in his own black skin. Like shit like this was a perfect snapshot of where it's okay to love yourself. It's okay to be true totally within yourself, even if everybody doesn't like it. Just be true to you. You'll feel much better sleeping at night. So I would just like to thank those people for that.
Which, ironically, jumps onto what the next thing I was gonna say is that what, like I was saying before, what this Grammy showed me is that one, we got women artists are just killing the game right now. They are just, but the thing is, they're not all the same, and we're getting that diversity in rap that I feel like we've been missing for like 5 to 7 years, give or take, maybe longer. Because I used to have a joke when we were in college that like everything was just heart attack rap, where it sounded like you're having a heart attack on the track, like like for a long time I used to joke that was most of our rap music, and then like again, maybe it was Cardi that started the wave where like with her first album, what was that?
Privacy, was that Privacy?
Yeah, Invasion of Privacy. Yeah. That was the first one, I think. Or was it?
Well, she only has one. She only has one.
Yeah. It was Invasion of Privacy then. Yeah, so like I feel like Cardi B kind of maybe ushered a new wave, and then like we got Lotto after that. We like, as much as I don't even care for Sexy Red's music, it has its own place. And I feel like for a long time in rap, we were just missing that point where we should have different types of rap that all get shine in different ways, and it's all just rap. We need our lyricists. We need, we need we need our what was it, Uncle Luke's / Sexy Reds. We need our J. Cole's. We need our Lottos. Like, we just need to show that, hey, we go back to this conversation of black people are the monolith. Our rap used to show that. We're kind of getting back to that. Hell, even Glorilla is different from Meg Thee Stallion, and they vibe. So it's like, I feel like this is the wave we need. Right now, women are just showing us the game. So big ups to all of them. Rap City, Doechii, big ups.
Keep it up.
And before you transition, Jay, so that's also, you gave it perfectly. That's why this album is so important to me, because of what you just said. Because on this one album, that is less than an hour, mind you, he went and found every type of person from his region that was rapping. So you do have the lyrical people who can a lyrical miracle swimming pool individual, and then you got gangbangers who are like, yeah, tell him Hitter did it. Who showed you how to run a blitz? Tell him Hitter did it. And then you gotta do that at the end of that song where he sounds like a killer. He sounds like a serial killer whispering to you in a cell about what he did to somebody to get here. He's like, and you wonder why why I'm so good at this shit is because I don't let them identify me, and I don't leave no witnesses. And then the beat just ends and the song's over. It's like, wait, what the fuck did you just confess to a murder to me, nigga? I mean, you jump over. You got SZA singing over Luther Vandross singing.
I love that song has slowly become my favorite song of the album. It was Squabble Up initially, but Luther's my favorite song now. I listen to that song every day. Like, I love that song.
Dodger Blue is one of my favorites on there. Like, you have different types of eclectic two different types of black people singing on that chorus. You see what I'm saying? So it's just all different types of black experience, Hispanic experience, people who were important.
They had a mariachi lady on the album. Come on.
Yes. Singing everything. And I don't know a lick of Spanish, Jay-Zo. I haven't been in high school Spanish 101 since, 2010? And when she comes on, I'm like, where the fuck is my Maria at? Where's my Janitos? Huh? Like, it makes me I feel included, and it's like, wow, like, man, I love that. I love how we're all ourselves, but all can have a common ground. I love this era so much.
Message. You got any thoughts, Devin?
No, even just honestly, you guys covered it. Like, I've just been enjoying it here. But honestly, you guys covered everything that I could possibly say about it. Like, I love the diversity when it comes to the music, the different styles, so on and so forth. And I want to see that continue on. I don't want us to kind of get back to, as you brought up, right around COVID, where things kind of started getting a little stale there.
And again, sometimes that's all we need, just to kind of remember, what things were like. And on that note, we'll do a quick little transition here. Super Bowl Sunday is this weekend. We're recording on the Thursday before Super Bowl Sunday. So we got another matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. I know Devin's not necessarily a sports guy. When it comes to football, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm more of a basketball head, and I know Caleb has his teams too. So, real quick thoughts. What y'all think about this matchup? Do y'all even care? I do have one thought, but I'll let y'all go first.
Dev, you could lead us off, brother.
So you're right. I don't tend to follow a lot of sports all that often. I'm always for watching a good game. But I don't necessarily follow it religiously where I'm like, oh, hey, I know every single player, all their stats, so on and so forth. That said, sorry. Still getting over the flu, everybody. But honestly, from what I do know between the Chiefs and the Eagles, if I was a betting man, I would probably put my money on the Chiefs.
Yeah, how many penalties is Patrick Mahomes going to get? I mean, what's the script? I mean, hope Saquon runs a lot. Let's go with that one.
Do something, bro.
Oh man. Personally, I don't have a dog in the fight. I was rooting for the Ravens. They didn't make it past the Bills, so it is what it is. But at this point, I just want Saquon to win because that man deserves a Super Bowl. So I just hope he runs a lot, gets them a good score, and it's a good game. But I hope the Eagles win just for Saquon. I don't really necessarily care. It was like the last time when the Eagles were playing against the Patriots. I wanted the Eagles to win just because Nick Foles was a cool dude. Like that was my dog in the fight. So it's like I'm in the same boat. I just want Saquon to seem like a cool dude. He's been doing the right thing all year and breaking records or getting close to breaking records. He's just been having a great year. I hope he wins. That's it.
That's true. No, Devin, I completely feel you because, like, if you're looking from an objective lens, like, yeah, if you're betting against Patrick Mahomes at this point in time, you're a money launderer, is what you are, and you're going to prison.
Or you rig something to which you're going to prison.
You're going, though, because this man has been set up to be like the face when it comes to quarterbacks in the NFL for a very long time. They've been building this thing up for a long time, for a very, very long time. He's about to be one of the few quarterbacks in NFL history to ever win 3 championships back to back to back like that.
No, I don't think anyone's done it. I think they're the first team to get a chance to do it.
No. Yeah, the Patriots did back to backs. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
but no one's done a three-peat though.
That's been a big talking point all this last week is that their team is basically set up to be the first team to do it 3 straight years.
Okay, so yeah, they're gonna push that through because as Jazo joked about,
the script.
If you have any type of football IQ, you've seen them win. The refs win those Chiefs games for them. Any type of if you play Pop Warner football, you could look at it and be like, but no, that's not what that penalty is. That's not what that means. They're pushing that man through. I was rooting for the Eagles, low key, until they made the announcement the other day that they were removing the end racism stuff from their field and their campaign. I got the Chiefs by 100. I got the Chiefs by 100. Beat their asses. Beat their asses. This is Philly. This is a historical, this city, sports city is cursed. Period. They're cursed. Philly is just as racist from a sports perspective as Boston, but Boston is just one more. Boston, you could get off some free racism if you were a Pats fan, if you're a Boston Celtics fan. The Boston Celtics have, I think, at this point, the most number of NBA championships.
By one.
They just beat out the Lakers. That was crazy.
I was going to say pause.
That was crazy. That's crazy. the Patriots had their era of Tom Brady, where Tom Brady was a devil worshiper, allegedly. I just
It
saw
was
something.
black magic.
It was something. I don't know what it was. I just knew it wasn't of God. Okay. So they had their thing. But Philly, like, after I think it was Philly who booed Santa Claus and threw stuff at him, if I remember correctly. And they haven't been close to winning since. I think it's been almost 20 years at this point. These niggas assaulted Santa Claus on TV. You're not winning anything, Bucko.
I mean, the Eagles did win that Super Bowl against the Patriots. What was that, 5 years ago?
Oh yeah, that what you did say Foles. You did say Foles.
Yeah, because Nick Foles. Yeah, because they broke it. Because, the good old Philly.
I don't want, and I also don't want them to win. On top of the stop the racism thing being erased, I despise Gilly the Kid. He's from Philly. He's a hip hop commentator who was trying to early on hedge the bets against Kendrick with this beef and this back and forth. I despise him. I want them to lose just because of him, if I'm honest.
Damn. That sucks.
I don't like you. I don't like you. And I think that you don't deserve good things in your life, brother.
Man, an entire fan base might be upset because one dude was just like terrible. So they're like, you know what? Your whole fan base ain't deserve nothing good.
I don't care. You don't deserve anything good.
You know what? That's what happened to the Dallas Cowboys. Someone did something in Dallas and then cursed their whole situation.
It was Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones stopped the running back, brother. I forget his name. He stopped him from breaking the all-time rushing record as a Dallas Cowboy. He pulled him out the game. I forget the running backs. I think it was Emmett.
Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, yep. He stopped him from getting the record. They haven't won shit since.
Mm-hmm.
You got cursed quarterback after cursed quarterback, underachieving offensive coordinator, head coach, and Jerry Jones just won't die. This thing is Palpatine, but a mediocre one. Like, at least Palpatine got it.
Instead of unlimited power, he has limited power.
Very limited and specific. Like, I don't.
Oddly specific power.
Bro, that might have cursed Dallas so bad that the only thing they've had is one championship, and they just traded their best player. I'm talking about the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, but at least the Cowboys aren't the worst sporting organization in the city anymore. That's what we can say.
They still might be, because this Dallas Mavericks team is good enough to at least make the playoffs.
Okay. Okay.
It's splitting hairs, but yeah, nah. Quick pivot. The GM of the Dallas Mavericks is a dumbass. Like, what? Who in their right mind, first of all, doesn't just tell everybody, hey, Luka Doncic is available, so that way you can actually get some good stuff out of it. You just go to your friend that happens to be the GM of the Lakers and be like, hey, look left, look right. You want Luka? Like, that must have shocked the GM of the Lakers so bad that it took him like 2-3 weeks to be like, is he just trolling me? Is this real? He goes back to him and like, what do you want? He's like, we want Anthony Davis and like one pick. Anthony Davis and one pick for Luka Doncic? I think we can make that work.
But I think going off of it, he was primed for a max contract.
Supermax, yeah.
So it would have been like, for the people who don't really care or follow sports like that, this man was primed to sign a contract for almost $400 million. $400 million. And Dallas was like, do we want to pay one guy $400 million? And I think that's where that came from. Partly.
Yeah, but see, this is the kind of crap. So this is our hard pivot. Now we're going to switch to the Luka situation for a little bit. This is the kind of crap that in no other industry would fly. Could you imagine that you could trade, I don't know, let's just say Mark Zuckerberg and Amazon, bro.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Imagine you could just trade them both and just be like, here are a couple of our employees, and you could just trade CEOs and then just be like, yeah, we did this trade of CEOs because we didn't want Elon Musk to make an extra $500 million next year.
You're
That
taking,
law would be changed tomorrow.
yeah, you're taking the company, Bucko.
Yeah, like
Oh,
Elon Musk will be on freaking Donald Trump's door. Duke, 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 Duke. I need you to make a law on this today. Because in no other situation, I get it, you can trade people in sports, whatever. But the fact that this guy just went, oh, such and such, Luca is fat. I'm using air quotes for audio listeners. Is fat. And we don't want to quote unquote pay him this big contract. We don't want him to have the opportunity. Like, that's one thing where like you get to the discussion table and you guys discuss that you don't want to pay him. But the fact that you could just trade him to automatically negate his chance to get it, that's some bullshit.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's like saying, hey, I got several promotions. I've done all this work for this company. I am due to get my pay raise next year because I put in my work. Here's all my records. Here's all my accolades. I put 20% extra billables and profits into this company, and the company just ships you off to freaking another state and just be like, yeah, because we don't want to pay you the extra money that you earned.
I think the thing that would add comedy to this current political administration would be if that was possible through political parties. Like if people could trade political correspondents and representatives, I think that would humble a lot of people to like come around to like, hey, these are multimillionaires and billionaires. They don't give a damn about you. So like if you wake up one day and you're like, let me turn on like my CNN app or something, and it's like AOC just secured a multi-billion-dollar deal to go to the Republicans, and you see her the next day, she's like, deport all Hispanics.
Mhm.
And you're like, what the fuck is going on? I think if you were able to do this in politics, people would be able to see like, oh, this is
All bullshit.
all bullshit. This is,
Mhm.
Could you imagine what's that old man's name that shouldn't be in politics anymore? Was it Mitch McConnell? Like,
Mitch McConnell.
yeah. You're like, oh yeah. Breaking news. We just found out that Mitch McConnell has been traded to the Democrats for a piece of gum and some cash what was it, cash considerations?
400 new recruits
No.
in high school. Like, God, like, I think that would be awesome. I think, and
You know what?
where I don't live in America, that would be hilarious to watch from like over.
You know what? We're already in a doomed timeline. Let me see that timeline. Let me just take a peek at the timeline to see what it looks like, because that would be hilarious. Someone
If they
should turn that into
Mhm.
like an anime or something. It's just
If they traded Obama to the Republicans midterm, he's like, deport the Mexicans.
which is crazy because
Right.
and everyone forgets that politics are not an equal sum game, because Obama still is on record for like top 2 most deportations in an administration ever.
And
He just wasn't loud about it.
And he's the Will
Mhm.
Chamberlain of drone strikes. That is not me. That is not me engaging in hyperbole. Will Chamberlain allegedly had the most points scored in an NBA game. When them drones first got off the ground and they were popping, Obama was launching those bad boys. But again,
Mhm.
So
to that later.
to not get overly political, because that's not necessarily what we want to do here,
No.
I will say I never quite understood the drone strike thing. Now, I don't know all the details of Safe Quote Strike 3, so disclaimer, but why is just firing drone strikes such a big red mark? Now, is he hitting people that shouldn't have been hit? I need to see some redacted information, or I need to see what these drone strikes were doing. But I don't know. That narrative never quite sit well to me. But that's not what we're doing necessarily here today. It's just one of them BS things that I always like to put on the record, because everyone's just looking for something on everybody. So
Mhm.
now, mind you, using Obama is a good analogy. Imagine, because Luka Doncic took the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals last year. Not a couple years ago, not, when he first got here. last year, he's been in the league, 7 years now? Last year, he took these dudes to the finals. That's like saying Obama killed Saddam Hussein and now we're trading him to the Republican Party.
What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
And we're trading him to the Republican Party for, what was that crazy chick from Alaska's name? Because that's basically...
Yeah. Palin, yeah.
Yeah, we're trading her for Sarah Palin and the dude she ran with, like Mitt Romney, and some cash consideration. We're just gonna swap them. That makes no goddamn sense. Oh, but yeah, that is something we should do for an episode just for fun. We should like make up real life trades, but in other contexts.
Political drafts.
With the first overall pick, I'm going to take Elon Imar out of Illinois. I feel like that would be fun for like a fun intro or something, or a fun episode. We should definitely put that on the books.
I like that.
Yeah, someone write that down. We'll put that on the books for the future. Now, sadly, off the fun we just had, we do have to bring things down and just talk about a couple of other events over the last couple weeks here. First off, quick moment of silence, quick prayers. We had 2 plane crashes out of both the DMC area, so in both DC and Philly, which is essentially the same airspace as far as airplanes and like navigation is concerned. So you're telling me that the moment Orange Boy decides to start messing with the policies of the FAA and other organizations that help monitor stuff, we had 2 plane crashes that no one was prepared for. The one in Philly, like, what was it? Like 20 people died or something like.
I think it's around 30.
We are in for January's been a long year, and we're in for an eternity of the next 3 years, man.
So, on the day that it happened, I was watching the news, and of course, as one would expect, whenever a tragedy like that happens, you would expect the president to get on, kind of talk about it, and
Address
say,
the nation.
hey, address the nation, and kind of galvanize the people under that. Trump, he attempted to do so for all of 2 minutes before taking that as an opportunity to then go ahead and start talking about all the things that he's doing. I don't understand how you can take a tragedy and then somehow turn it into an entire talk about you.
Politics.
Even in politics, that's just a faux pas that is supposed to be avoided. Both sides of the aisle understand that, They realize that is kind of like, you know what? Don't touch that. Just, if something like that happens, put everything aside. Focus on the people. Let's focus on healing. Let's focus on, coming together. That threw me for a complete loop. And I'm still trying to process that now.
But I mean, you're coming from the standpoint of, you said both sides of the aisle understand that would be a faux pas to do exactly that. But both sides of the aisle have historically, have individuals who were studying becoming what they were trying to become for 10 to 15 years, being servants and things like that. You get the hard skills, you get the soft skills, the measurables and the immeasurables, excuse me. And then you have an individual who did none of that, who essentially became president off of DEI.
We'll get to that.
Who then goes up and doesn't understand the soft skills and then reverts to himself, because not only is he a narcissist and a blatant megalomaniac, this man operates on the line of psychopathy, because you are now looking at people who are passed away, period. Like, I don't care who you are, where you are, when individuals pass away, especially if they aren't like evil people type stuff like that, there needs to be empathy first. There needs to be empathy, there needs to be understanding, there needs to be compassion, and then there needs to be essentially a promise or an incentive to move better in the future. Period, point blank. That's what a normal human would do. But psychopaths and sociopaths imitate human behavior. So it doesn't ever seem real when they do it, but they're trying to touch all the nodes of what a normal person would do in front of you in real time. So he thought that there was enough gap of space within his speech between essentially dealing with the passing of these individuals with transitioning into his agenda. You see what I'm saying? Only a psychopath would put those two things next to each other and try and use the same media opportunity to do both things. No, 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 no. And then when they asked him, are you going to go to the site of the crash and everything else like that? He was like, oh, it was on the water. What do you want me to do? Go swimming? And thought that it was a cool quip or something. No, 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 no. He's a fucking psychopath. Are we living in a weird collective delusion that only a few of us can see through? No, no, no. This person is crazy.
But I would think that there would at least be someone in his cabinet. Anyone with at least some level of, you know what, maybe this isn't such a great idea. And maybe just kind of on the side, cut it.
Somebody. Oh, go ahead, Jason. My bad.
No, so ironically, I think his last term there was someone that way. It was his vice president.
Yep.
And now he doesn't. Now he's got a vice president that's basically jerking him off while being like, "Yeah, you got this." It's like this man is even more unhinged, and there's no one who actually cares to have some kind of morality. Like Mike Pence is a washed old Mormon, basically type person, but he at least has some kind of morality to be like, no, we have to accept the election. No, we care about the children, although it's the Christian care, not the real care.
Tact, not morality. Tact. He had better tact.
Yes, he had better tact.
Tact, yes, but I still think his tact is more in a moral sense. So I'm okay with morality, but yes, overall you're right. It's tact, and so far, no one in his cabinet, current cabinet, gives a flying crap. They're just there to get paid, fuck up the country, and kill DEI or some bullshit.
Man, I just don't appreciate it because it's a dangerous place. For instance, it's already dangerous if you have someone in the car with you that has illegal narcotics, right? Like if you're driving somewhere, 4 people in a car, 1 person has heroin and coke in their pocket. That's already kind of dangerous. You see what I'm saying? You escalate the danger when you have that person in the passenger seat doing those drugs. The worst option is that person, same person with those same drugs in the driver's seat, doing them as they're driving. That's the worst position you can be in.
Nope, there's one step further. The step further is the person in the driver's seat is also doing 100 miles per hour looking to get caught.
Sure. Absolutely. My unspoken standard was, you're black. That's why I said you're da 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 da. So as a black person, you have somebody who's on coke, doing heroin, and driving. Bro, it's all over. And that's what this seems like this has dissolved into. We have a situation to where there's not only a moral crisis and identity crisis, these two things have combined and metastasized into a countrywide crisis. Because you have a situation as to where not only are they trying to strip rights away from minorities and things like that, they don't give a damn about the personhood of their own white women. And they're combining all of these things into the same vector and pushing it out there as if it's normal with the person who is not steady on their rocker. That's one of those things. I don't give a damn if you call it ageism. At a certain point in age, you should not, in my opinion, be able to hold an elected position whatsoever.
Preach.
As you get higher to the nuke button, the age limitation should get tougher. Period.
Bro. To add to that, I do feel that people who have been in office for quite some time and they're getting up there in age, they can take an advisory role to someone who's younger, because I do feel like the knowledge that they have gained over time can still be useful, but I also agree they should not be in office after a certain age.
Elders for
But-
counsel, youth for war. Period. That's how it's typically been throughout societies. When those things are turned on their head, that's when you get situations as to where things start to fall away by the wayside as you neglect humanity for the advancement of society, just for said society to die out by its own hubris. This is what we're dealing with.
What you said when you said that, it reminded me of the report. It was a sitting senator who was like, I want to say she's like 80 something. I forget which senator it was.
In the
but
nursing
like,
home?
yeah,
Yeah.
she was she spent like 3 weeks of the legislative session in a nursing home. Why is she a senator?
Why is she? Mitch McConnell has a stroke every time you put a 4K camera on him. Every single time. Every single time. You put a camera.
Got him in 4K.
What's going on?
Bitch, they got you in 4K.
Like, bro, this. And
What?
then even to go last bar, Jason. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
The founding fathers weren't even that old because people weren't even living that long in that era. So the founding fathers, when they founded this country, were in their 20s and 30s. These were the people setting up the rubric of the country. And yet now you look back and switch it on its head and say, oh, you're too young. You haven't experienced enough in the world. Y'all have not left a glowing example behind of individuals who have experienced the world and come back not jaded. And not with your own vested interests. Or not preying upon poor people, upon women, upon everybody that whatever your text is, it doesn't matter what your religious text is. You're supposed to protect those who can't protect themselves. And you violate all of them because you have to swear upon some book before you get in office. I don't care if you're an atheist or not. That shit don't even mean nothing to me. If you care about the people who can't and don't possess the resources to protect themselves, I have no problem putting you in office. What the issue is people masquerading as major contributors and believers of major faiths, getting in there and doing everything opposite / adjacent to said faith. Okay, so you just pimped a whole population of people. Cool.
Like Cat Williams says, I figured it out. These politicians is all pimps.
This is what I get passionate about. My bad, Jay Zo and Devin.
No, you're good.
Because I agree. Like, fundamentally, I 100% agree. Like, one, if the retirement age of this country is 65 or 67, whatever the hell it is, that means you should not be able to be an elected official past 67. If I don't want you driving, you can't run my goddamn country. Fuck that. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
When we got two options of old decrepit man that can't talk and Joe Biden, and old decrepit man that talks too damn much and doesn't know what the fuck he's saying and Donald Trump, I don't want neither of y'all. Like,
no, there needs to be something instituted in an addendum to this as to where the country can veto both clients.
Can we just not have a sitting president for a while? Can we like get a break? Can we just, it was that dating meme for a while. It's just like, can we just be single for a while as a country?
Yeah,
we don't need a president.
Between relationships. Like, I'm with it because I don't. This is my last thing that I'm going to say before I step away for a second. This was one of the most disingenuous election cycles that I've ever lived through in my life, as of recent. You had an individual essentially clamoring and stammering over herself to say that she would essentially protect humanity for what it stood for and things like that, right? While also taking donations from APOC and things like that, knowing what their ideology is and how that would move force in the Middle East and how that would essentially lock us into a continuous, roughly 25-year war, like a soft war, if that makes sense, to where we were deploying young people from impoverished neighborhoods, lacking education, that are over there to occupy and everything else like that. and then following in the steps of her contemporary with sending money over to Ukraine as well as to Israel directly. So essentially, you're burning the candle on both ends. And then you have the individual on this side who is a main supporter of big business. We saw the effects of big business when it came to um, policy and infrastructure when it came to countries back in 2003, because I had family members over there. What they were mainly trying to do was essentially go over there to the Middle East, gut what infrastructure that they have, search for missing things that weren't real, and then they put in Dick Cheney and those people's friends. So you had like an uprise of KFCs, McDonald's, 7-Eleven, Circle K, so on and so forth over there. And they came back and was like, JK, LOL, there was no weapons over there. We was stripping. And everybody else made money but the American people. And none of these people truly cared about anything besides getting people to vote for them. This was a very Orwellian situation that we just lived through. And right once we started to get to the point of understanding why this is bad and why we should shift, they were like, hey, we're putting a tyrant in office. And he's signing everything that comes across his desk, which is also another thing. Like, so you're not reading these things? You're not consulting with the leading, you see, leading professors of economics at Stanford, Yale, Harvard, Columbia, Brown. You're just, what's this say, Jayzo? What's this say?
It says Project 2025. They already have a playbook. Like, they knew what they're going to do, and he's doing exactly what they said they were going to do. This man is signing every executive order, making it look like he's doing crap, and then we're going to have, like, months and months of fighting because every judge is going to be like, this is unconstitutional. We're going to have to block this. Then it's going to get blocked. It's going to go in moratorium. And then, if it gets to the Supreme Court, you paid for 3/4 of the Supreme Court. So it's like, what are we living through? Nothing matters. Everything is fake. Like,
and then even if it gets that far, then there's going to be the argument of, oh, hey, that branch has way too much power and everything. If they're blocking everything that we try to go and do, maybe we should look at them. And that starts another fight there between the three branches.
Orwellian. Like, why are they... Jason Deppin, before I step away, I'm sorry. Can you please tell me the benefit of doing away with the Department of Education in a first world country? I'm just curious.
Dumbing down the overall population so they don't know what they're looking at, so that way you could get through the bullshit much easier because they don't know how to see past the bullshit.
That part. That is literally the reason.
Yeah.
I view it as concerning. That's as far as I can go with it. My bad. I love both of y'all. I've parked up a lot of time.
No, it's a dumpster fire. And that's essentially what they want. They're just trying to sow chaos so they can do the shit they want to do. This jackass in office just let Elon Musk try to run up through, what was it, the Department of... Not finance.
The Treasury.
Yeah, the Department of the U.S. Treasury, to the point where sitting U.S. senators had to go and try to stop him. Him and his Elon and his piss pill cronies were out there, like, trying to get access to start cutting shit off. It's like, you are literally fundamentally trying to screw millions of people because you don't understand how our financial system works. And you just want to take all that money and continue filtering it up to the point where they had to try to go into a tariff war with our two best trading partners, to them being like, to Mexico being like, hold on, let's see what we can figure out. And Canada's like, oh, you want to fuck around? Let's find out. Canada, of all countries, for every stereotype you want to say about Canadians, these dudes went full on black and be like, word? Let's go. Bet. And now they're trying to work out a deal. But initially, Canada was about to be like, oh, do it. We dare you. They literally would like, King Kong got nothing on us.
Because Canada was about to put they threw out that they were going to put 100% tariffs on Tesla vehicles. And that was what made them initially walk it back. Like, whoa. You're doing what? They were like, yeah, we're doing tariffs, right? We're doing tariffs, right?
Yeah.
100% tariff on Tesla. They were going to kill a huge Starlink contract. So they're going to hit Elon twice. Then they're going to say, hey, America, y'all like to send us all your beer, all your other stuff? We ain't taking none of it. Buy Canadian. Like, they were going to hit America in every sector possible.
Good.
They were ready to go and ban for it.
Good.
Trudeau showed up like Drake back when Drake remembered how to rap. He was like, back to back, we're gonna hit you. Like, but yeah, Devin, you go ahead and explain to the people what the fuck around and find out is, because this is the ridiculous ass timeline that we're living in.
So yes, the FAFO, or the fuck around and find out. So we've had some people going on social media now who have been bragging about all sorts of different things with the, oh, hey, people are going to start losing their jobs because, of DEI, and I'm glad to go and get them out, and blah, blah, blah.
They're not qualified.
They're not qualified. We've had people who are like, when Elon did his heart out to everyone and totally not, a Nazi salute. Come on. Which, by the way,
a Roman salute.
Yeah, let's be real, guys. Come on. We all saw it.
Y'all do know the Roman Empire fell, right?
You do realize that, and you do realize that the Nazi salute was based off of that on purpose, right?
And the Nazi Empire fell, right?
But we're not going to talk about those things. But people are also doing the, oh, hey, my heart goes out to you, and then doing said salute as well, and then finding out afterwards that they're getting fired because people are reporting them for it. All the crazy bullshit that they're saying. And they wonder why. They're like, oh, I don't know, why am I getting fired? Why am I getting punished for this? What did I do wrong?
Let's drop this nice graph. The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. Because we are getting reports left, right, center, up, down, flip it around, twist it, where everyone who thought DEI doesn't, because one, these people have, again, with zero brain cells, have allowed themselves to believe that DEI just means black. Y'all can say it. This is what y'all really mean. Just get the black people, get the minorities out of here. Unfortunately, you also tend to forget that minorities mean veterans. It means people who are handicapped. It means people who have disabilities. That is what DEI means. It means that anyone who does not have a normal chance of being a straight, white, healthy, white male to be able to participate in our society. That is what DEI is. It does not mean just black people. And even then, you still need to be qualified for whatever the hell you're doing. It just means to open up the opportunity pool. That's what the fuck DEI meant. And it still means. So the more y'all want to fuck around, the more you find out. Because we just saw that a shit ton of white ladies from the U.S. Department of Treasury get fired because of them stopping DEI regulations. And they all thought, hey, someone was quoted as saying, I thought that we were being taken care of due to race, not gender. Well, congratulations, women. You're in the minority. So any of y'all that thought Trump was helping y'all, deuces.
Because DEI was supposed to be the focus of, oh, hey, let's look at your qualifications first. Then go ahead and look at everything else. So anyone who's saying, oh, hey, get rid of DEI, is like, no, congratulations. You've done the opposite of what you thought you were doing.
Especially if you've ever done a job application in this day and age, there's usually a series of questions they ask you towards the end. Are you a male? Are you black? Are you Hispanic? Are you a veteran? Do you have a disability? Those questions are there because of thanks to DEI regulations, companies here in America are forced to make sure their talent pools look at people who are normally excluded because they are not a straight, white, healthy white male who happens to, I don't know, believe they're a Christian. Like, that's the point. Because especially in our age of nepotism, a white male who will just hire his friends who happen to generally be white males, regardless of whether you know what they're doing or not.
My bad. So what happened with the crashes that went down in DC and Philly and everything else like that? One of the first things that stood out to me was the president and his constituents essentially alluding to the possibility of it being as a result of DEI hires.
Mhm.
Before asking
infuriated
who
me.
died, before asking if there were malfunctions with the planes, before asking if there was an issue with air traffic control and communicating, they asked if it was DEI first. Boom. All right, cool. Me in my brain, I was like, oh, well, you can't trust this evil person. This is an obvious evil person. And then it turned out that like one of the pilots was a white woman. So one of the larger beneficiaries of DEI. I just have a question for white women. Um, the white men that you married that have to love you because they're your husbands and you have kids together, do you think that they like you? Oh, you think they like you? Let's go to Reddit. Look at the Reddit forums that are primarily dominated by young white men married to young white women and see how they talk about you. See what they think about you. Do you think white men enjoy working around you? Have you not seen the memes, the jokes, the videos, the shorts, the however you want to classify it, to where they talk about how y'all deserve to be or supposed to be in the kitchen? And the reason that they can't have the same lives that their grandfathers had is because the government and inflation and things like that. Do you think that they would really view you as a person if they were making the type of money that their grandfathers made? If you have to question that, the answer is obvious. Not only are you a beneficiary of DEI, you are a victim of your own racism, which I feel no bad for. I feel never mind about it. I do feel bad for minority women who have to suffer through these unjust periods and things like that. But as far as y'all, no, because y'all aid in everything that affects everybody else, but then has the splash damage that affects you. So just as a scope of reality, Jay-Z and Dev, I'll be very quick. I worked in insurance for a little bit. And at that weird time, like transition of power between parties. And it was a lot of like poor white people that I was assisting and trying to help, just like with everybody, because my thing is always like my heart goes out to people. So I'm not in a Hitler salute way, but like actually like I care about people. So my thing, I was going to underserved communities, because when you sell insurance, it's a commission based thing. So like unless you sell it, you don't get paid. My thing was I don't give a damn if I get paid super. I know what it feels like to watch your grandparents deteriorate in front of you. And I didn't want anybody else to have to live through that if they had the option. There were so many white people who say, I don't have Obamacare. I have the Affordable Care Act. I don't need no damn insurance. And I would have to sit in their living rooms and say, that's the same thing. Like, one is the actual name of the policy. The other thing is a colloquialism that's no. In colloquialism, we're not talking about colonies.
And this is
Devin,
why
I
they got
swear,
the
Devin,
Department
I
of
swear to
Education.
God, I
So
was in
people don't know
Tallahassee.
how to educate themselves.
This is what I had to deal with. I was working for this insurance company for almost 2 years. And I'm like, that's not okay. So what you're trying to tell me is I got the Obamacare. I never signed up for Obama. No. Obama was the person who was in office. The Affordable Care Act is as a result of what he signed when he was in office. No. No. And they could never give me any. No. No. What does that mean? Bitch, your life is on the line. Your kids are either going to have fish fries, car washes, or garage sales to bury you, or you can get a policy for $15 a month. No. And it's the same thing. I don't feel bad for them women, J-Zo, whatsoever. Like,
I don't either.
I don't feel bad for these individuals, not just the women, the gay white guys as well who voted for Trump, who are seeing their stuff get walked back. or the trans white guys or women who voted for Trump and he took the T out that LGBTQIA plus situation. It's affecting you now. No. That F around and find out meter is, that parabola is looking very different, ain't it? Now.
And that shit's in the stratosphere. Like, it's not even on the dang graph anymore. It's flying up to the stars looking for the next galaxy to find a planet that makes sense. Like, the sheer amount of people that don't understand how to look beyond what people are telling them is utterly ridiculous. Like, yes, our political system is designed to make it real easy to confuse someone. But at the same time, to constantly fight and go against your own interests is just so irresponsible. Like, and evil. Like, those are the only words, like, I have for it. It's just irresponsible and evil.
And I just feel bad for the children of the millennials. Like the babies of the millennials right now.
Oh, me and my wife have talked about it. I don't think I can have kids in this current climate, bro. Like, either I gotta get the heck out of this country or do something else. My mom was asking me if I was gonna have a kid someday. I'm just like, not the way things are looking right now. Between having kid money and being able to make sure they live in a place where they're not under threat of something, I'm not doing it, bro. I'm gonna move to Switzerland or something. Like, I hear.
Is my bad. I'm gonna stop getting activated because
as long as you don't move to Greenland, because that might become U.S. Part 2 if Trump wants to do that.
Yeah.
Or the Gaza Strip, or the Panama Canal, or all of Canada,
or the Gulf of America,
or the Gulf of America. Yeah. When I heard those, I was like, "No, you've got to be kidding me! No, this is a joke, right? This is funny. Yeah, good joke, ha." And then I'm like, "No, you're serious? That's wait, no, come on. There's no way."
That is insane. Just my main thing is the priority. The priority in your second term, because this isn't a back-to-back term. Like you got what you got, boom, you got moved around. So typically you would think you would come back with a better perspective. And then to all the people, I'm sorry, Jayzo, you can censor this if you would like to in post. I just want to say to everybody who said that those of us who paid attention to Project 2025, that we were conspiracy theorists and didn't know what suck my dick.
Nah, that's staying in there. Fuck that, because they need to hear it again in the back. Because I agree.
I'm gonna say it 2 more times. This is the first one. Suck my dick and suck everybody else's dick who told you what he was gonna do. And now we got to deal with white women's tears. Do I give a fuck about white bitches' tears? No, I'm not crying with you, bitches. We told you, hey, this shit's looking very Christo-fascism-ish over here. And the reason that y'all are affected disproportionately as opposed to gay white men is because gay white men can't get pregnant. And the politicians still be fucking them. But we don't want to talk. We don't want to talk about that. Okay, cool. With that being said, you bitches are liabilities to their credibility. But you didn't think that way because you didn't think that it would affect you personally. That's why they're taking away your rights. They took away the trans people's rights, but not shit about the gay white boys. Isn't that crazy?
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that executive order, I was like, huh, interesting.
You're
how that works.
To some oiled up bussy is what you're.
I might have to censor that.
My bad.
Oh, wait a minute.
He's true. I'm not lying.
Last year I used to call those Caleb's final rants. This time I'm gonna switch it up. This year we're gonna call them comprehensive rants with Caleb, because that's exactly what that was. You know what? We've got a little too political this episode.
Yeah, we do.
For good reason, but you know what? as we wrap things up, I'm gonna bring it back down to a little bit of a different type of discussion just to close things out a little bit. So I was reading an article. I don't know if it was on like Crunchyroll or something, but everyone who's ever heard of Naruto knows about the Boruto continuation anime / manga. Specifically, the anime is going on hiatus. And the director of the anime was quoted as saying basically that they're going to go on hiatus so they can stop animating filler episodes. So this had a question I wanted to bring up again real quick as we kind of close things out. What is the purpose of filler in anime or any media? What's the actual purpose? Because to me, growing up, especially, you know, back in the day when we used to acquire our anime in not so normal means, you know, Crunchyroll's roots, to say the roots of Crunchyroll, to say the least. We all who were in the know understood that filler anime was basically because they either caught up to the manga, so they need to fill in some gaps, or they just kind of wanted to have a fun little episode, which really didn't mean nothing, but it'd just be fun for the anime. Anyone who's ever studied a little bit about Japanese anime and the manga know that the anime is meant to sell the manga. They make the anime so you can buy the books. It's kind of like how we used to make 80s cartoons to sell the toys. Same concept. So, this day and age, it feels like they just be making fillers for no damn reason. So, I asked the panel here, what's the purpose? Why do we have fillers? Is it still the same? Do they have too many damn animes? What's going on? What y'all think?
I'll let you go first, Cal.
So, in my opinion, at times when I've had to experience filler, like it was the coloring between the lines, like kind of filling out who the characters were outside of like high impact action moments and things like that were a little bit more lighthearted, but you kind of got a gist of what the character was outside of these like threatening moments. You see what I'm saying? Like these large scale arcs, or like what this character like to do in their downtime and their pastime and things like that. However, at times it has felt like it was a nice break every now and again from the story writer's perspective. Like just being able to be like, oh, shopping episode, oh, a beach episode, or that, like you just throwing it out there. It doesn't necessarily contribute that high to the characters behind the mythos of the characters, if that makes sense. So it's interesting from the standpoint of if you come back better, that shit is fire. But if you still come back and you're still not able to, like, one of my biggest complaints about One Piece is that, to where I arguably feel like bro doesn't know how to write a compelling story without long form everything. Like there should be things that are streamlined, in my opinion. That's why I got to a certain point in One Piece and was kind of like, this shit is utterly fucking ridiculous, bro. Because it should be like the story, the progression of character should be first, and then everything else should kind of like fall naturally in, and you can have filler episodes. But oftentimes, important episodes are filled with filler, like unnecessary diatribes and dialogue and things like that add to the stuff. I don't like that. So I mean, yeah, that's kind of where I feel about it. I hope that this comes back better as a result of it. And it's like, oh, this sets a new standard for anime, as to where it's like, we don't need to necessarily animate this. We can put this in a different form, like Naruto and Shippuden had it where they had like Rock Lee's miniature spinoff thing. Like
it was more of a fun thing, yeah.
Yeah, like if you do something like that instead of filler episodes, as to where it's like Jay-Zo with a big head, I got a big head, Devin got a big head, and we're just talking. It's like, man, I like ramen. You like ramen? I like pho. Oh, you like pho? I like spaghetti. Oh, fuck you. Boom. We got a weird fight. Happens, and we just joke about it. And then in the next episode, like the real episode, like we joke about something that took place in You see what I'm saying? The independent series or whatever the case may be. I feel like that can substitute filler. I know that costs money, that costs animators, that costs writers. Yes, but like that strips out a lot of bullshit in the story so that every time somebody tunes in, I'm not saying a fist fight has to happen all the time, but like there is progress, like active progress. Like that's all. I want that, if that makes sense. So
Fair, fair.
What you got,
Uh,
Devin?
Personally, I grew up with filler being used when they're getting too close to the source material.
Yep.
Um, I do like it when they're using that and actually putting something to learn a little bit more about the characters, kind of like what Cal was saying there. I want to kind of see some of those characters outside of the current situation there, where it's all conflict and so on and so forth. I want to see them in their normal life there, nice little slice of life there. Um, and in the past, that's what it was supposed to do. Like, if they had to slow it down, then that would be their time to go ahead and do that. Now it's starting to move into a situation similar to how they did Full Metal Alchemist before they did Brotherhood, where they went well past the source material and they got so far ahead that they just ended up making their entire whole story and everything with its own ending and so on and so forth. Just because they didn't know when to stop. They didn't know when to take a break because they were just looking at, oh, hey, this is bringing in money. I feel like Boruto is getting into that as well, where for a while there, they just didn't want to stop because it was just making money. So I do appreciate that, they are now going on hiatus. They have recognized that they need to kind of slow it down. Otherwise, they're going to have another situation with Full Metal Alchemist all over again. They're going to have all the same jokes that we used to go and make about the original Naruto series just before they went into Shippuden, when they went into back filler episodes, or
It was
Bleach, where
basic.
every other season was a filler filler half season.
It was a filler season. Like the original Naruto has like I want to say it's like 90 something episodes, 99 or 100 episodes. Like the last 40 or something after the Sasuke, they failed to retrieve Sasuke. The last half of it is all filler. None of it makes sense. It's just Naruto jumping on other squads, solving things with a Rasengan and leaving. Like
The fact that at some point you can literally stop watching and skip to Shippuden and miss absolutely nothing is telling.
I would have rather so for conservative estimate, because I don't remember the numbers right now, let's say the last 20 episodes of the original Naruto were all filler. That is 20 weeks of random episodes these animators could have just been letting go, going to another project, letting the manga go up, be like, okay, well, Naruto, you'll see Naruto and his friends next time in, I don't know, 2 years later. Like, we'll be gearing up for Naruto's second set of adventures in, I don't know, 2013. Get ready. I don't remember the actual years. Don't quote me on that. But y'all could have just went and like, yeah, we're going to be on hiatus. Our animators can go work on some other stuff. They can take a hiatus. We can slow down a little bit. And it's like, all right, cool. And then you could have this fanfare of building it back up to, all right, we're back at it. Here we go again. Instead of giving us 20 episodes of jank for 20 weeks. Y'all know how long 20 weeks is? That is damn near a third of that's over a third of a year. Like, what are we doing?
but that takes us back to the point that we made during the Grammy conversation as to where you're an artist and you're putting yourself in the art and selling it to the consumer as opposed to selling yourself. Like that's and like for individuals who understand like the Japanese culture when it comes to manga, like bro, they have to do what they have to do type shit. Like it's not a Western centric thing to where you can do that. Like, bitch, your employability relies on people locking in. So I mean, it's easier for you to say that, Jayzo, like being on the Western side of it, but it's like, bro, these are thousands of jobs on the line.
Yeah,
That are
but
like, oh, I gotta wait 20 weeks to da-da-da.
but that's the and I agree when Naruto, early One Piece, Bleach were all popular.
Mhm.
We and this is a conversation we can have in a longer episode when we're talking about like the history of like anime in general. But one thing that's happened basically from 2007 to roughly 2010, 2011, there's been a huge shift in the anime industry. The sheer volume of anime that comes out now in this day and age is almost like 4 to 5 times higher than it was back in those days. To the point now that animators are overworked across the board. There was that whole controversy with Jujutsu Kaisen for like part of season 2, where like they had to reanimate a major fight and to resell on a DVD disc because they didn't have the time because they were that pressed for episodes.
Right.
Why are we making fillers when y'all are that pressed? Y'all could be taking that time to take a break, take a smoke break. We have enough anime coming out in this day and age where like that shouldn't be a thing. And more of these companies are starting to realize it. It's starting to hit them because, especially not an anime in and of itself, there's more international now. Because we're not living in a day and age where, again, if you were going through ways that are less scrupulous, you weren't seeing that much anime. Now anime is so international that even in insular country like Japan is getting hit with the after effects of treating their workers that way. More and more of these companies are getting hit where they don't want to get hit. The dollars, the time, the people that are like, oh, Studio Parrot, y'all want to go and overwork us 40 hours? Even in Japan, as hard as to quit a job in Japan, the fact of the matter is you can leave Studio Parrot and go form your own studio, like Studio Wit or something else, and start making anime because there's just that much anime coming out that they'll take a chance on the studio that's not even established because there's too much manga and anime being made. Like, the game ain't the same no more. So, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I think the director of Boruto is one of those people that's starting to be like, we don't need to do this, especially since we got like 6 other anime that we can be animating right now without having to drown ourselves in Boruto filler. When y'all are ready to give us the new material, we'll animate it and call it a day. There's enough material now. So it's almost like the game industry coming with the reckoning of live service games. Something else we'll have to talk about in a future episode. But
Jesus Christ,
the game ain't the same. Y'all can't keep playing. You can't keep playing the game in the same way no more, bro. So, because again, Devin knows I like filler when it's appropriately used. Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball Z, had so much filler most people didn't realize it. During the whole Frieza arc, that whole side quest Bulma goes to find the frog, gets switched with Ginyu, going into water. None of that happened. It's like 20 episodes of filler while Goku and the crew are fighting the Ginyu Force in Frieza. None of that actually happened. It was, I mean, that one was drawn out and unnecessary, but then you have fun fillers that like, we know nothing serious is happening. Like when Goku and Piccolo go get their driver's license.
Yeah.
Y'all can fly. Y'all don't need to know how to do
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh. I'm sorry.
No, it's funny, but that's the point. But that's the literal point. Those are fun little episodes that, you know what, it kind of breaks up the situation a little bit, gives you some levity right before you got to go fight like Cell or something. There's that whole, again, when it comes to Dragon Ball Z filler, I can go on and on, but there's that whole filler part where like, what was it? Gohan goes and beats up Tao Pai Pai from the original Dragon Ball, and like he gets scared because he looks like his dad. Like, that didn't actually happen. What actually happened is after they got out of the time chamber, Goku and Gohan did nothing for 3 days. They went and slept, ate, took a walk through the forest. They didn't do shit, but they decided, you know what? We'll make a couple filler episodes because it'd be fun. That's cool. That's perfectly fine. But don't try to like hit me with the Bleach where we have whole fillers, seasons of filler. It's like, this doesn't make sense, and you completely destroyed the story. And then when you get to the actual story, you gotta make some extra shit because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm still standing on my square. I don't like it. I understand it. And I get it. Um, but even from the standpoint of like animating, which is what I care about, because typically, like if you can write a book, you can write an anime script, you can write, period. Like I'm not really pushing that.
Oh.
I just don't like feeling like my time is wasted when consuming an anime whatsoever. And I feel like there are some times as to where it gets just comical. Like, okay, cool, we're gonna do this, da, 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 da. And it's like, I'm not even saying that everything that is a cast off storyline needs to be involved, but like you need to tie it to the greater understanding of the story. Period. Like figure out what the character likes to eat, what their favorite da 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 is. Okay, what their predisposition is to that, and why they feel an aversion to this type of power. But tie it in. Tie it in. Like, can we do that? Like, not give us any like auxiliary information without it actually tying into the main core of the character? Like, I don't think that's too much to ask.
And I think what you're saying is essentially a lost art in this day and age of anime, because the anime we grew up with, you would never know an episode was a filler unless you already knew it was a filler.
Touche.
And I think, unless you got anything else to add, Devin, I think that's where I'm going to end it, because that is kind of my point. I can go through a bunch of anime I grew up with, that until I looked into it, I had no idea things were filler. And I think that's kind of the point. These companies, even if you have to like stall out your anime to allow the manga to keep going to get more information of what the story is, find a way to make it make sense. And if we can tell it's a filler, you didn't do your job. Anything you want to add, Devin, before we wrap this bitch up?
No, I think that last comment there wrapped up perfectly.
All right. Well, as we wrap up this episode of the Just No BS podcast, I got one quote to end it out, and it's by the great Oprah Winfrey of all people. Just remember, when there is no struggle, there is no strength. On that note, I've been your boy John, and I've got two co-hosts.
And this is Dev.
Peace.